Hello, thank you for visiting my kitchen again. You are very welcome as always. Today I'm making a very simple shortbread recipe called Petticoat Tails. It's a plain shortbread and all the Petticoat Tails part is the shape. So it's a round circular shape. We're going to cut it, make it about the same as this plate, and it's fluted around the edges to, I suppose, form the Petticoat Tails. So before starting making the shortbread, we need to line a baking tray with grease-proof or parchment paper, and we need a plate or something circular that's roughly 7 inches or about 18 centimeters. Something that will fit twice on your baking tray, or if you've got 2 little baking trays, that's fine, but we're going to make 2 circles of Petticoat Tails. It will make 16 biscuits in all. So set the tray aside, and then we'll need a larger piece of greaseproof or parchment paper, and this is going to, 1, we'll mix the mixture together on it, but 2, when we roll the petticoat tail circle out, we will have the circle of the right side on the back. So I've turned it over so I'm not writing on the side where we're going to put the dough, and just do your circle, draw around your circle, there. And make sure you can see it from the other side. That needs to be a bit darker for me. Let's see if I can see that. Oh, that's perfect. I don't know if you can see that. That's the right side, that's the wrong side. So we'll put this aside and we'll use this later. Next we need to turn our oven on so it's hot enough for the shortbread. So the oven's going to go on 160 degrees Celsius, that's 150 if you've got a fan. If you're Fahrenheit, that's 325 and gas mark 3. Next we need to sieve 9 ounces or 250 grams of plain flour into a bowl. Into the bowl then goes 3 ounces or 75 grams of caster sugar, and we'll just give that a little mix. Next we add 6 ounces, and that's 175 grams of cold butter, and just give it a chop up. Once you've got the pieces of butter as small as you can with the knife, we'll just go in with our fingers and rub the butter into the flour and sugar, just as though we're making pastry. And this just needs to be rubbed in until you can't see any more of the fine flour. There, perfect. So when you get to this stage, you need to bring your greaseproof paper back, the one we put the circle on, with the circle facing underneath, because we will be tipping this out, this mixture out. Just try and clump it together in the bowl to start with. It probably won't clump. If it does, that's fine, but we normally have to tip it out, and we're not going to get it all there. So just tip the crumbly mixture out onto the greaseproof paper and try and work it together. This will take some time as the butter starts to warm in your hands. You can see why we're using the greaseproof paper now. Of course, if you've got one of those silicone mats, that's perfect, because that will probably already have a circle on it for you. But just keep pressing and kneading until the mixture forms a dough, and it will get there. We don't need to add any liquid. This has no milk or egg in it. It will look like it's not going to get there to start with. Don't panic. This is what makes the shortbread so lovely and crumbly, the fact that there's no liquid added. I do want to show you this bit here. This bit's just broken off. It's just crumbled off this main bit that I'm getting. Don't panic, that will happen. It will all break apart and you push it back together again. Just keep on going. I promise you, it will come together. There, so now we need to just form it into a ball. And we're just going to cut it in half because we're going to make 2 rounds of petticoat tails. So now I'm going to bring my tray to the side of me, ready to put the shortbread on. Sprinkle a little flour, just a little bit. We don't want too much. In the circular bit that you've drawn already, little on the top. Stop the rolling pins sticking and just roll it out, keeping it moving. I'll do the next one closer for you. Until you reach the circle that you've made. Just using enough flour to stop it sticking. And if you get cuts around the edges, and again I'll show you the next one closer, just push them in slightly and give it another roll. So you get a better edge, because this is going to be the flute on the edge. Roll it out to the size needed. There, that should be fine. So we'll just pick this up and put this on our baking tray. We do have to go carefully because it's very crumbly. That is the nature of shortbread. We want it crumbly. Okay, so we'll do the next one. Tiny little bit of flour on the circle, and I'll bring you down so you can see closer. So this is what I meant by it splitting. So just push it in. It's very, very pliable and very, very forgiving, this dough. I mean, if it all goes wrong, just scrunch it all together, give it a little knead and start again. That's how forgiving it is. It's not like pastry. That would totally ruin pastry, but this is fine. Just trying to push out to a nice round. I don't know if you can see that on camera, maybe you can see in this corner, but there's my circle line. Just trying to push out to that and make a nice edge. And we'll just move this over to our baking tray. Very carefully. If it splits at this point, just ball it all together and start again. There's really no problem. I've got a little split there. I can just push that together and form the circle a little more. Now we've done this with this piece of paper. Now for the cutting and fluting, we want to cut each circle into 8. So that's 2 across and 2 again. You want to get about halfway down, not all the way. This makes it easier to snap the biscuits apart when it's done. We'll end up with little triangle biscuits. There. Now we want to flute. What we do is push with a little finger. This is how I do it anyway. We push with a little finger. I'll do it on this corner so you can see. And pinch around that little finger. Move along and pinch around that little finger. Every time I do this, my fingers seem to grow in size. I could do with little tiny fingers for this. You almost get more uniform if you do it quicker. And again, if it all goes wrong, if you're making a mess, you can get the paper back, scrunch it all up and have another go. It will not make any difference to how the dough comes out. All we need to do now is prick the dough just randomly all over. And here I've just got a little bit more caster sugar, and I'm going to sprinkle generously. And they will go into the oven to cook for 30 minutes. They'll be a nice golden brown, but they still need to be quite pale. So that's the 30 minutes. I think it's done. Oh, take a look at this. You can see it's just tinged golden around the edge, and it's still quite pale. So the petticoat tails will be left on the greaseproof paper now to totally cool, as if we do take them off now, they will break. So they need to be just left to be totally cool. So just time for the taste test. Show you an individual piece. It's quite a thin shortbread. Here goes. Oh, it's absolutely delicious. And of course, shortbread is always best with a cup of tea. Thank you for watching today, and I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you get a chance to make the petticoat tails. They really are delicious, and I'll see you again next time.